Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome into the Dirt Talk Nation. I am your host, Will Riggs, and we have a huge show for you guys tonight. Amazing guests, including the owner of Smiley's Racing Products and Hoosier Tire Southwest, Tom Lorenz. He'll be first up on the show tonight. The owner of the Race On Network, Chris David. He's going to join the show. We're going to talk about all the good stuff coming up this weekend on the Race On Network. Yo, it is free race weekend at RPM Speedway in Crandall, Texas, and we'll have track promoter Martin Edwards, who will be on to talk about that here in just a little bit. And then to wrap it up, we'll have the voice of Hunt County Raceway in Cattle Mills, Texas. Chase Lawler is going to join this show. But before we get to it, let's address the elephant in the room, okay? What happened last Saturday is not okay. Not okay. The following social media posts by my former colleague at Race On were not okay to outright cheer and call for violence against a political candidate for political purposes, regardless of what side of the aisle you are on, is absolutely, positively wrong. Okay, we 100% condemn his words, his actions, and as someone who has worked in IT for about 30 years, I'm going to call bullshit on the "I was hacked" excuse. We applaud the man in charge for doing what needed to be done. From now on, that's all we're going to say about it, y'all. So with that said, strap on your seatbelt, sit back, because it's time to go racing in the Dirt Talk Nation.
There from the start by his side, and through all the scars and pain he'd hide. He'd work extra hours to make ends meet, dragging to the shop flat dead on his feet. She never dreamed it would be this hard, but nothing comes between a man and his racing car. She said we're gonna be a mile down a dead-end street. When you know tracks like that, you can never be beat. He knew the love with top riders. Cries and grease stains in his eyes. There's no other love between a road and a tire. Nothing comes between a man and his racing car.
Woo, suck it now. It's time for some Dirt Talk Nation. Wake up over there, Lance Plant, my host. How you doing today, Bubba?
Doing better now.
Oh, I know. Look, hold up. Yours doesn't. It didn't make the noise. Oh, I heard the psst. So we are cracking coldies in here, just so that you get that in there right there. Come on, Coors Light, help a brother out. You know what I mean? Like we're out here trying to drink these cold beers and talk about racing and whatnot. See, it's silver bullets all around.
And Schaefer's Lubricants. They're a big sponsor of mine.
That's for the car. Okay, that's for your car.
Yeah, that's car.
It'd be awkward if it was for anything else. So check it out, you guys. Before we get going, let's go ahead and just throw you over here real quick. Let's add this up here. You can get your own Dirt Talk Nation gear, man. Long sleeve t-shirts, hoodies, regular t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts. You got the Dirt Talk Nation logo. And starting tomorrow, you'll be able to order the cool-ass campaign shirt starting tomorrow, Lance.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Riggs Lance 24. We want to make America race again. That's what we're trying to do, is make America race again.
Race again. Every weekend.
Every weekend, man. Mother Nature doesn't like to, play fair or play nice a lot of times, but I'm sure glad it's summertime and ready to go racing each and every weekend. Like this weekend is going to be a big weekend at RPM Speedway. I feel like we're going to have a packed house. And you know why we're going to have a packed house, Lance? Because it's free race weekend. Free. Free. That spells free in that bit from back in the day. And we're going to bring on the man who is responsible for free, Lance. And that is, let's go and bring on the owner of Smiley's Racing Products, Tom Lorenz. What's up, Tom? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing really good. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you just fine, my brother. And you're in Colorado. Is that where you said you were going this week?
Yeah, I'm headed out there, flying out there in the morning. We're going to get in a bunch of golf and coming on back Sunday night. So it's going to be quite the trip.
I'm jealous.
You know, look, one of the things that we always like to do in the summertime is go to Red River, New Mexico, which is like going to Colorado, because like in the middle of the summer when it's 100 degrees here, it's like 75 degrees there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So always a good time. So Tom, I have a few questions for you. So being the announcer at RPM, I haven't called your name at all. Are you officially retired or just kind of semi-retired?
No, I'm not retired. But I have raced for 47 years. So I've raced every
Yeah.
47. I mean, not every week, but me and my wife for many, many, many years we raced every week for a lot of years. And then every once in a while we started missing a week every now and then, but consecutively we raced for 47 years. And,
Wow.
I'd always said when Devil's Bowl closed down, I was going to probably hang up my helmet, but, unfortunately, it has closed. I don't think it's closed for good. I hope it's not closed for good, but it may be closed for good. But that was a place that I really enjoyed going. There was the thing about racing out there. You could get in out there, and it was such a family atmosphere, and you could race, and they'd be done by like 10:30 or so, and so I could get in bed and get a shower and get in bed and be ready to go golf Sunday morning if I wanted to do, or whatever else we had going on Sunday. To where back in the day when we'd race at Crandall and places like that, when they were running Thunderbird Speedway, you might get home 2, 3, or 4 in the morning sometime. It just wipe out your Sundays. But so I really enjoyed, and the family really enjoyed going out to Devil's Bowl, and we missed that a lot. But Steve Neighbors, he's asked me to come out there a few times last year, and I enjoy going out there. And right now, honestly, I just don't have a car right now to run out there. That factory stock, when Devil's Bowl closed down, I had old guy named Casey Meeks come by the shop and was talking about my little factory stock car that my brother for the last couple of years has rode with me, and because it's a 2-seater, and he followed me around my whole racing career, and so he started riding with me out there at Devil's Bowl, and I think he got to where he was enjoying it more than I was, being the passenger in the cars. So we would do that, and we did that for a couple of years, and then when Devil's Bowl kind of closed up and Casey Meeks come by the shop and said, "Man, I want to buy that car." I said, "Well, shoot, I don't know what I'm going to do, with Devil's Bowl closing down, but if you really want it, I guess we can make a deal." And he took it. It was one of those deals where you rather he not done it, but he did it. So he bought it, and so it was gone. And then my I was running that enduro race out there at Devil's Bowl, and I really, really loved running that enduro race. And old Tim, the old boy that works for me, he's worked for me ever since I've had Smiley. So since about February of '85, he's been working for me. And so we took my sport mod, and he ran that thing at this last enduro race. And I run the other sport mod that I had years and years ago that I've been running every year at the enduro. I've been running it. So now both cars are kind of not legal, I guess you'd say, for sport mod racing, but we're right now starting to tweak on the one a little bit, and we're going to probably bring it out some and run over there at RPM for a little bit and get, but not any particular one night. So I wouldn't say we're retired. We're just on break.
So what do you enjoy more, the actual racing or the actual preparing the car and engine building and whatnot?
100% racing. It's, man, I don't want to go, I'm 65 here in a couple of weeks. So getting out there on that Saturday and getting that thing all loaded up in that Texas heat and stuff, and, just dealing with getting the car ready and all that stuff. I used to love doing that. I built, between Tim and I, there's no telling how many cars we built, but we built a ton of them over the years. And I love building those cars. And when I was doing that, I did that a lot, and spent a lot of hours doing that. And, but it kind of, that kind of was a phase of my life that I was ready to move on, do something. And, so we quit building race cars, and I didn't quit building. I mean, I quit building them. Tim hasn't quit building them, but I was working on them on Saturdays and, pick another night or two during the week to kind of go over everything and get them, all washed up, put away and all that. And honestly, I've taken up golfing over the last 10 or so years, and I really, really enjoy the golfing. So when you think about it, the golfing that I do now offsets the racing because, racing is loud and rowdy and dirty, and duck, mud flying, and all that kind of stuff. And then golf, I had on a collared shirt and dressed up and clean, and
It's quiet.
you know, it's they complement one another because they're
Yeah.
so of each other. And it's
What's your handicap?
right now I'm at about a 3.5, so
Good night.
I
Yeah.
add a little bit, but it's maybe a 3.6 is where it is. But anyhow,
Do you play any golf tournaments?
I play in lots of golf tournaments. I went to Branson, Missouri last weekend. Not this weekend because I went to RPM. The weekend before that, I went to Branson, Missouri, and I played in this APT, what they call APT tournament. It's an amateur player tournament, and I finished sixth in it out of 160 players. So I played pretty well, but I did get a super scan. And what a super scan is when of all the 160 players, if somebody gets a low score on a hole that nobody else covers up, like on this particular hole is a par 4, and I drove the green and made the putt for an eagle, nobody else in that whole tournament did that. Nobody else got an eagle on that hole, and that was the only skin of the whole tournament. And it paid $1,566 to make.
Oh, nice.
You know, so that was fun. You know, but golf's a challenge, just like anything else. But it complements racing, and so to answer your question, I really don't enjoy working on the race cars no more like I used to. But I love driving the race cars. But you know, I've heard it so many times in the past, but it is so true. The races are actually won in the garage. You know, if you just wash your car and leave it on trailer all week and go back track, you're not too likely to win very much. But a perfect example would be if you look at that 25C out there that's winning about every week. That thing doesn't matter what crash it gets in. That thing is dentless, spotless, and ready to go the next week. And I know that Robert Clark, Chris Bell do a lot of upkeep on that car, and it shows. And they got, you know, Cody's one of the best drivers out there, and that's why they win so much. You know, they're prepped and ready to go. And
he this last week he jumped out once he gets through lap trap. It doesn't matter where he starts at. If he gets out in front, he gone.
Yeah,
he gone every time.
He goes, and you know, you have so many people out there saying they're illegal, but they've gone to they've gone to every racetrack in Texas, and they've been teched about from every racetrack in Texas. So if they're beating and winning, they're the smartest human beings out there because ain't nobody can catch them.
Well, I'll tell you why. I got to give a big shout out to Blaine Smith, who in the limited modifieds, like on lap 2, like we had just finished lap 1, spun out in turn 1. You had to go to the back of the pack of 20 cars and drove all the way to the front and finished third. Man, that was right there. That was impressive.
Anyway, I guess it's, you know, the apple don't fall far from the tree, you know. So Eddie's probably one of the best drivers out there, and I'm sure he's watched him since he was a baby, and so he's just like him. And but yeah, I watched that. I seen him coming from the back, and it was quite interesting. And I was hoping for maybe another caution or two in there to kind of regroup him, because he was doing such an awesome job, and it was a pleasure. It was fun to watch him. So I was really rooting him on, but I wanted him to beat his dad, but he didn't. You know,
and those are great people.
Do what?
I said they're great people as well.
Yeah, that whole group is. They're very good for racing. You know,
when you speaking of good for racing, Tom, this weekend at RPM, free grandstands for everybody, courtesy of Smiley's Racing. How did that come about?
Well, I just made a deal with old Steve Neighbors out there. You know what? He's had such bad luck all year already anyways.
It's rained all year. It's crazy.
10 nights probably at least. And his crowds have not been real good because of that. And now that the heat is settling and stuff, it makes it tougher to make things work. And so what Smiley's intent here was to, you know, we've been in business. I've been building race cars since 77 and racing them. But since February of 85, I've had Smiley's. So, you know, it was just a way for me to make a deal with Steve where he give me a deal on the general admission. And I said, I'll tell you what, we'll just pay everybody's way in. Anybody that wants to come. And what I was really hoping for here was that we would get some people that's never been before that would come back. And that's the whole intent was behind this. So bring all your family, bring your neighbors, bring your friends, and bring somebody that's just never been to the races before. And, you know, I was encouraging when I did a video to say that we would do this to come hungry. You know, these fast food chains all over the, you know, Metroplex, they're going to get your business 7 days a week. These racetracks can only do 1 day a week, and it's either a Friday or Saturday night or something, and it's only a half a year. So I mean, if you schedule 30 races and you get 26 of them in, you've only got in a half a year's worth of racing. So that's all the nights that they can sell refreshments to. And so I was kind of encouraged and come hungry. You don't have to buy a ticket to get in. So save your money and buy you
walking taco.
One of those walking tacos, you know, corn dogs, or hamburgers and fries and baskets. And, you know, there's just so much stuff that they offer out there. And Steve is really, really picky about the food that they have out there. And they do a good job with it. I think it's all Billy Garza kind of heads all that up. And so, you know, come out there and come hungry. And then, but not only this week, but every week. You know, if you're going to the races, you can eat on the way, or you can just wait and get there and support the racing. So
Exactly.
So if we could get a whole lot of people in the stands this weekend, and we can have that plenty of food out there. I told Steve, make sure you had plenty of food, because that's, you know, the only place that he's really, really going to benefit from to help with his facility. And plus, what RPM, one thing about that racetrack, as y'all well know, it's one of the cleanest facilities you'll ever go to in your life. Steve takes really a lot of pride in that place. And
air-conditioned bathrooms, ladies, by the way.
Air-conditioned bathrooms. Yeah.
Look, ladies, my wife, when my wife went down there, she's like, look, I've been going to racetracks my entire life, and this is the first time I've ever been where there's an air-conditioned restroom that doesn't smell. And and then that's for the guys' bathroom too. So I mean, it's everything there is like immaculate nice. He even redid the announce booth, and I had to take a freaking hoodie in the middle of July because the air conditioner is set on Arctic Circle or whatever the fuck he's got going up there, and I'm freezing my ass off. I'm like, all right, I need to close this damn man. It's so cold up there.
Isn't he building some suites next to the
yeah. He's got the platforms are up, and I think he's in the process of building the first one now.
Man, that'd be awesome. Tom, I got a question for you.
Yep.
So you have any insight to Devil's Bowl, the future of Devil's Bowl? Do you have anything that we might be able to learn
Insider
from?
information?
Insider information?
Oh, this is all that I got to tell you from it. And it's only my opinion, and it's just coming from me, and there may be no truth to it, or there could be a lot of truth to it. But I think that Lanny Ross and Marcy had a buyer for the Devil's Bowl, had a buyer for the land, and they were going to pay the premium dollars for it. And if you ever go out there to the airport out there, Mesquite Airport, there right behind it, you'll see a bunch of big buildings behind it. And they built a lot of them over there. And from what my understanding was, they had a contract, Martin and them did, on buying that piece of property. And they did all the groundwork, whatever, to make sure the ground was good to be used or whatever. Supposedly, whoever their intended buyer was backed out. Supposedly that's what happened. So the place is sold. And I fly over it all the time. I keep a little old Cessna 206 out there. And so I fly out over that racetrack all the time. Everything is still there. Some of the equipment is gone. They've taken up to Lawton. Yeah. But everything else is still in place. And I keep telling old Lanny Ross that, we need to open this place back up. If you don't have a buyer, we need to open it back up. And then, his remarks to me was, the last time that I talked to him about it, well, if we haven't done something by December, we'll start putting a schedule together.
Hell yeah.
That was the last
awesome.
we talked about it. and I think that's where it is right now. I think the buyers they had for the land backed out, and I don't know if they got any more prospects right now. But
Yeah.
while it's sitting there, and I think between Lanny Ross and Martin and a few of their guys, they could have that thing up and going in a couple weeks. So
For
I'm
sure.
just hoping for the best, and
Me
gosh,
too.
it's
I
one of
think it
the,
would be awesome. Yeah.
yeah,
And
That
then,
would be awesome.
but
I look, I love, I love my whole, everybody's like, oh man, how'd you start announcing the Devil's Bowl? That's awesome. I'm like, pure happenstance. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. I owned a radio station and I left my card and was like, hey, this would sound great on my radio station. Just the announcing on my radio station would sound great. The next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call going, hey, you just want to call the races live? And I'm like, what? So it just happened. And, I
happened.
love it. It's a good
Well,
time. And I
that
love
was
doing
doing it Saturday night at RPM, weren't you? That was you.
Oh yeah, this last Saturday, yes, me.
Did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
It
I
was
started adding entertainment aspects between races and at halftime, like like I was like, hey, I was sitting there and I said, hey, let's do the Cotton Eye Joe, because I remember when I was a kid going out to the original ballpark and the original Arlington Stadium, and even at the ballpark, man, the 7th inning stretch at the Rangers ballpark is the Cotton Eye Joe. And I'm like, man, people will love this. And they started, and then we did Sweet Caroline, and everybody was singing along and stuff.
That's
And I'm like,
cool.
that's kind of like the entertainment aspect I want to bring to it, because I think the racing is great, but if you keep people interacted and interacting with the racing itself as far as with each other, they build friendships and meet new people, and they're like, hey man, let's meet up at the racetrack next week, and I just think it's just a great way that we can do stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to listen to Dink McCullough up there, and he does a really good job. But I think his main track is over there at KSP. But when I heard you up there, I said, sure who that is. My wife was asking who that was, and I said, I'm really not sure. And but I know it was you, to be honest with you. But whoever it was, I said, whoever it was has some microphone experience.
Yep.
Well, I got a couple of radio awards over there on the shelf, so not to toot my own horn, but toot.
But down there, you're very entertaining. So
that's kind of my deal, man. I try to be entertaining and have a lot of fun with it. And Tom, man, thank you so much for coming. I told you it was easy,
Tom.
right? I told you it's super easy.
Thanks, Tom.
That announcing part will make a show or kill a show, and so having
Yes.
there is very, very valuable to RPM Speedway.
I appreciate you.
Because if you just dead announcer that don't know anybody up there that just calling out the numbers and name, it's so boring. But when you got somebody like you up there, it's a very important part of the racing deal. And so, the numbers and name. And I think this next week, I hope that we get a ton of people out there, and you encourage them to come back. And dadgum, I just hope that
for sure.
I'm out there. But yeah, I really appreciate you having me on this show. I know I need to do something with y'all pretty soon with some sort of sponsorship, and I sure will, because we had Smiley's Racing, and we want to sponsor as much to do with racing as we can. And
well, we appreciate you, and just text me when you get back early next week, and we'll work it out. We're gonna probably go all the way till November with the show, and I'm gonna start doing I don't announce at other tracks, but there may be an opportunity for me to hit up over here, because I actually live not far from you in Rockwall. I'm in Fate, so I'm like, man, I can run over here on a Friday night and go to Hunt County and kind of maybe do some shows and stuff like that, and film a race dirt race day live, which we're actually going to have our first race day live this Saturday at 6 p.m. from the track. We're going to have Jack Sarton and Bryce Pritchett, and we're going to do a live show from the booth at RPM. We're going to do that every week the rest of the year too. So that's going to be good times.
I used to build a lot of cars for Jack Sarton's daddy, and I know he would be so proud of those two boys that he's got there.
Well, they get after it. They get flat after it, boy.
Some racers, no doubt about it. And to just, sometime if you're not going out to RPM Speedway, but you do want to go see some other racing, KSP always has some great racing, but that Hunt County, those two guys, Donnie and Josh, they are doing a fantastic job trying to
Fantastic
bring.
job.
And so we got some really, really good racetracks around here that has some really good racing. We just got to get people that have not been or just not aware of it, more aware of it, because I don't know what this television's doing to all these racetracks, but we need the butts in the seats so we can sell them a hot dog, and
Yep,
that's what.
for sure. Yep.
Anyhow, so but us doing that this weekend at Smiley's, it's just a way for us to give back to the spectators and any of the racers that have family that want to come out. And so we did. This is the third time we're trying to do it now. We run out the other 2 times.
Yeah. Mother Nature has not been
Yeah.
kind this year at all. She's rained on our parade more than once.
Absolutely. So
And I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be there this weekend either. So I know I hate it. I'm going on vacation.
He's hating it. He's going on another vacation.
Well, if it works out real
Right.
good, get a big old crowd, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it again. So
Well, Tom,
Yep.
man, we appreciate you so much for coming on. But I told you it was easy to get in, right? I told you it's super easy. Just click on the button.
I'm not no IT guy, so I'm impressed that I was like,
I told you it was super easy. But we appreciate you for coming on, buddy.
Thanks,
Have a
Tom.
safe trip, have
Appreciate
fun
it.
golfing, and we'll catch you next time. And I'll talk to you next week. Okay.
all right.
All right, bud. All right, y'all. There he goes. That's Tom
Sweet.
Lorenz Smiley's. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be a great weekend of racing. Y'all hang tight, because coming up next, Chris David from Race On Network coming up next. Man, that Race On video always gets me hyped up. Before we get Chris on, though, check it out, y'all. Boom! Look at that Dirt Talk Nation gear. All right, you guys, look right here. Look, they come in all different colors, and there's blue and red and yellow, and you can get all this stuff. The campaign shirts that we posted on our Facebook page will be available on here tomorrow. It says Riggs Plant 24, Make America Race Again. So we're going to do that. So it'll be good times there. So make sure you're going over there, order it up. They'll get it shipped out to you, and you'll be able to just wear it to the track like, the next weekend. So make sure you get that going on. But right now, man, my main man here, let's jumping on here. We'll just do it this way. Bazow. We'll just do bazinga. We'll just do it right here. Bazinga. Oh, no. Chris is really close to the camera. It's Chris David, you guys, from Race On. What's up, Bubba?
Hey,
What's
how's
up,
it going,
Chris?
guys? Thanks for having us on, man.
You got it. So before I get into my actual questions, is there anything that you would like to say or address that has not been already addressed on Facebook and the website?
Yeah, sure. No, I mean it's been a busy last 7 days, really. I'll start there. I mean, we had the hurricane come through our Houston area, which most of our company's based out of Houston. So we had no power, no internet, and made it very difficult to run an online company for 5 days. And then obviously we had the comments made by one of our contractors, and very unfortunate. And we moved as quickly as possible to make sure that was handled, but that flooded probably, if I had to guess, probably anywhere from 800 to 1,000 messages that we had to answer between all of our contact methods, whether it be social media, whether it be email. We offer a chat line and things like that. So, disappointing, but I think we handled it how we had to handle it, and we're moving past it, and we've got great racing going on this weekend, and I tend to look ahead. the windshield's bigger than the rearview mirror. So let's get on to this weekend, right?
So that's what it's, because for us to be able to, broadcast on the Race On Network, which is where we're broadcasting right now. I'm an actual editor on the page, and my phone has blown up this week. And I'm like, and people like 5 days later, have you seen this? And I'm like, bro, can you like read the website before you send messages in? Like, I mean, come on, man. Yeah. Like, it's literally at the top of the Facebook page, pinned at the top of the Facebook page that you had to go to send this message. So,
and a lot of people want to throw Race On under the bridge, under the bus. And, man, you guys handled it well, and I applaud you guys the way y'all handled it, and quick action, and it's water under the bridge. Let's look forward, and let's look for some great racing this weekend.
That's it. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, we live in a pretty divisive world right now. And I go to the racetrack to escape, to escape that world. Right. And so I want to, I want to go have fun with my buddies and do race car stuff.
And this weekend is packed. Okay. So I was looking through, look, I'm going to do this real quick here. I'm going to dump this one out. I'm going to do, hold on. We're going to stop the screen and I'm going to present arms. I'm going to present this screen right here.
Yeah, there's a lot of good racing this weekend.
Bazinga. Look, we're going to go right here. So there is so much good racing going on this weekend, and multiple tracks have 2-night shows. Which one are you looking most forward to?
Yeah, I mean, believe me, all these tracks offer great racing experiences. I can tell you though that the Cowboy Up Classic is kind of it's an awesome event. Mechanical Bull, Rocket Raceway Park, 5,000 to win, USRA Limited Mods, B Mods, and Kevin Sester and his crew just do a fantastic job getting that facility in top-notch shape. And the Mechanical Bull, how cool is that we're going to set a $5,000 to win event based off of how well you ride a Mechanical Bull. That's kind of a level of entertainment that, I think the sport needs, right?
It needs it.
It's keeping it different, and so we'll be out there for the Cowboy Up Classic, and obviously getting ready for the following weekend for the King of the Hill, but great racing at Grayson and 105 and all of our partner tracks that do a fantastic job of great racing. And so Hunt County back in action. They came off that July 4th. I say July 4th. They ran July 3rd. And that was a great event. We came off last weekend, 67 Speedway. I don't know if anyone saw the crowd at 67 Speedway and the fireworks show that they put on for the Ralph Henson Memorial, but incredible.
It was amazing. Yeah. It was good.
So, okay. Here's my question. So say there's somebody who owns a racetrack who is watching right now and they're wondering, well, why do these people use Race On? What are the benefits of Race On to the actual racetrack?
Yeah. So, we're more than a streamer, right? We want to help market racing. That's our biggest thing. So, we've got 30,000 people that are on our email list, that we've got, 60,000 Facebook followers. We've got a huge Twitter and a TikTok following. We have social media content people that's all they do is content. And, so we try to promote the sport. We want butts in the seats. I heard Tom Lorenz say earlier, but, you look at 67 Speedway, what were there? There was a lot of butts in the seats. And you know what? That was the most viewed program last weekend on our network. So they correlate. If you want good racing, you put on a good program, you are going to have people in your seats. You're going to have people in your pits, and you're going to have people watching online. I've had tracks some before like, oh man, well, we had poor attendance and we had poor this, and it's like, well, streaming numbers were poor too, and we have to do a better job of helping them get the word out, right? And so our goal is to reach as many people as possible through our channels and our networks and the way that we reach people. We're doing YouTube ads for some racetracks. We're doing hype videos for some racetracks. We're marketing as much as we can on behalf of the racetrack to bring more people into the sport. Because at the end of the day, drivers do not get into a driver's seat the first time they show up at a racetrack. They start in the grandstands. Then they go from the grandstands to the pits, and they go from the pits to a race car, and then they become a customer of Race On, right? So we want to give that, and majority of our customers are drivers, right? They're close to the sport, but we want to get more of the sport out in front of a mainstream audience. And so that's the benefit is not only are we giving racetracks a great amount of money every month, but we're also spending our money to help promote their shows.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, and that kind of is kind of what the when this show originated, it was originally I worked at RPM and Devil's Bowl. So originally it was to promote those two tracks and get butts in the seats for that. And it was a weekly show. And then when I came back to racing this year, the idea was, hey, I want to do not just my home track where I work, which we very rarely talk about RPM unless something big like this weekend, free race weekend, thanks to Tom Lorenz, right? But very rarely do I talk about my home track where I actually work, because we're trying to get the word about other racetracks. Right? We're trying to build the race community and promote racing all over. Like we've talked to people from Alabama and Florida and Arkansas. And I mean, we've talked to all these people trying to expand the, you know, just the viewership of and the desire to go see dirt track racing. And that's why I will long be a proponent of the open trailer, because, you know, kids driving down the road and you see this freaking badass race car on a trailer, they're like, oh my God, what is that? And what do kids do when they want something? They will fucking hound you to the end of time to do it until you just finally do it. And guess what? You're going to go to the racetrack. Kids going to fall in love with racing. You're going to love the shows. And next thing you know, there's a fan. Yep. And so that's why we do what we do as well, to get that on. And we are so thankful that we have Race On as a partner that allows us to stream to their freaking 55,000 people on their Facebook channel, and now we have a brand new partner in FanStream Sports out of Dallas who we're streaming on their station too, and it's a way for us to grow what we do as well as grow the sport of dirt track racing.
Yeah, and I want to be able to put Texas on the map, right? I mean, we've got some really good racetracks. We have some really good promoters. We have some amazing talent here in Texas. And, you know, last year, 60% of our viewership audience was outside of the state of Texas.
Damn.
60%. So the guy in Arkansas or the guy in Alabama, he wasn't coming to the racetrack. But we were able to give the exposure to the track and be able to give exposure to the show and the program and those types of things to people that can't be there, right? Like physically can't be there.
Right.
So, I mean, we want to showcase talent. We do the Day Motorsports featured driver article of the week every single week. We haven't missed a week. Even though we fired our staff writer on Sunday morning, we still had a featured driver article yesterday. So it's like we want to promote the talent, the drivers, the personalities, the storylines, and that's, to me, is
what I do a great job.
And my passion is it's more than just a stream, right? The streaming is just a small part of it. I tell a lot of people, man, when we get to Friday and Saturday, that's where the easy work is. Right. We meet Monday nights, and our crew and our team is finding ways, and we're getting ahead, and we're trying to tell the stories of what's going on. And without it, I mean, I'm not saying that the sport would be in worse shape, but I feel like we've made an impact in putting us on the map. And when I say us, I don't drive a race car. I did, but I don't anymore. But I mean, I want to put the sport on the map.
And I think that racing, like people who are huge racing fans, right? Like they'll watch NASCAR and all this other stuff. I was like, where do you think those drivers came from? You know, it's like, oh, we love Kyle Larson. Yeah, guess what? Guess where he came from? Dirt track racing. They all do. And I always use Kyle Larson because I happened to be at the Devil's Bowl when he was racing a World of Outlaws and broke the track record 3 times in the same night. That was freaking awesome. Like, I'm like, this dude's out here just murdering this track, and I'm like, this guy is awesome. And he can drive anything. Like, and that whole year, and matter of fact, ever since, I think like he races. I think he races like 4 or 5 days a week because he loves racing, and people know his name because he races every type of car. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I appreciate everything Race On does. They get my subscription every year.
I'll be watching.
So,
I'll be watching all the
yep.
time myself.
And Lance, I think I've talked to you a couple times before personally, because I always pride myself on that. I answer every single message, including the 800 to 1,000 that we got in the last few days.
Man,
Like, I mean, I'll answer questions and I'm honest. I mean, we're an open book, and I mean, we make mistakes. We're not perfect. We'll never be perfect, but I've also seen drivers have bad nights at the racetrack, right? So we're gonna have bad nights, and we're gonna go back to the shop, right? And we're gonna fix it and do better, and we try to offer a product and a service. I mean, Colin Bell and Chase Lawler, who's going to be on here later, the amount of interviews that we publish every single weekend that don't even make it to social media, that if you go onto the Race On app, I mean, there's 10 interviews from last weekend that you can watch from different drivers.
I watch them. I watch all of them.
Yeah.
I like to get to know those guys. I like to get to know my competitors and know the different faces, and I watch all that stuff. As a competitor, I still watch them.
Well, and I always want to do those, right? But for those of you who don't know, I had a stroke last year. So my mobility sucks. If you see me at the track with the cane, it's because I'm in probably severe pain on my left side. So I was like, man, how can I do this stuff at the track? And so me and actually Jack Sarton actually sent me the idea. And then I'd already had the idea of doing it because Lance and I had talked about it before, of doing a race day live episode of Dirt Talk Nation live from the booth. And so we're going to have this Saturday will be our very first one. And we're going to have Jack Sarton and Bryce Pritchett Jack Sarton just murders the modified classes. And he did a great job this last week. And Bryce Pritchett seems like he wins every freaking week. It's either him or Michael Dabney Jr. in the freaking Factory Stock Classic every single week. So we're going to have those guys, and we can always cut that stuff up and add it later. But that's kind of, the stuff that I want to do just because it makes it easier for me, just because of the mobility aspect. And so, like I said, if y'all see me walking around with a cane, that's me. And just know that I had a stroke last year, and the only thing that didn't get broken is my freaking head and my mouth.
But I mean, when you we talk about the Dirt Talk Nation, and when we talked about this, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's put it on our platform. And Redneck Sports Show, the more content and the more things that we can push out to entertain the race fan, to entertain and promote the sport.
Yes.
I want to be a part of, it doesn't have to have Race On plastered all over it. It doesn't have to be a subscription. Like, I mean, we pay a lot of guys to give away content for free because we want to help the sport. And, that's the streaming is just a small part of what we're trying to accomplish. Because at the end of the day, my streaming company that Harry, my partner, and I built, it doesn't exist if we don't have fans and drivers. There's nothing there, right? And if we don't have racetracks and promoters, so we understand the importance of supporting those efforts, and you guys do a great job. I listen as much as possible, and if not on replays, and so we enjoy and appreciate you guys taking your time, because I mean, there's a lot of things you could probably be doing tonight, but you're trying to bring content and guests and things like that. So it's a mutual respect and appreciation for sure.
Man, it's racing is I've always liked racing since I was a kid. I mean, I grew up in Mesquite, Texas, and that's the home of the Devil's Bowl. And I remember as a kid, there wasn't anything around the Devil's Bowl. Like, Devil's was literally in the middle of nowhere on Lawson Road, and you had, you get off the highway, and there's no lights. There's no lights. You're just driving down this long, dark, lonely ass road, and all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere, here's a freaking racetrack. And so we grew up going there, and I remember we used to always sit in the bleachers right there at turn one, and you'd have to freaking dodge chunks of clay that were flying off the tires back in the day. And man, it's just something I grew up doing. And so when I was able to actually fall into, like I said, by pure happenstance, to fall into announcing it at racetracks, man, I give it everything I have. And my wife will tell you that I'm a head first, all in guy from jump. Once I get into something, I'm in, and I'm a 100%. And she said, it's probably my 100%. ADHD. It's probably my ADHD.
Yeah.
But
it was the same. It was the same way for me. I grew up in Mesquite, and I could hear Devil's Bowl from our house. We were 5 miles as the crow flies. On a good night, we could hear Devil's Bowl. I'm like, man, that is really cool. One day I'll get over there. Then, when I was in 6th, 7th grade, I got to meet one of my best friends, Max Eddie Thomas, and and he got me hooked. I blame everything that racing related on him. So
We're gonna be back
so
on next week.
yeah, so I'm a first generation racer. My dad didn't care nothing about racing, didn't have race cars. I'm different from everybody else. You know, you see, you know, like the Hennigans or Max Eddy or Jack or all these people that have this long history of 2, 3, 4 generations of racing. I didn't come from that. I come from here in Devil's Bowl and meet my best friend at school, and his dad raced, and we went to Thunderbird, and that got me hooked. It just took me a long time to get into the seat, but man, racing is my passion.
When I started working at the racetrack at the Devil's Bowl, my aunt came to me. She goes, "Did you know that your dad raced at the Devil's Bowl?" I said, "What?" And so I mentioned it on the air, and Walter Beatty, who is the official, unofficial historian of Devil's Bowl Speedway, comes to me about 2 weeks later and goes, "Hey, look right here. This is where your dad raced right here. He raced this race and this race and this race, and this is how he finished and all this other stuff." And I'm like, dude, that's too cool. You know, like I was more of a hot rod guy, you know, growing up. Like, you know, my first car was a 70 Dodge Dart Swinger with a 318. You know, and then I had a 72 Buick Skylark GS. And then, you know, I even had when I met my wife, I had a Mustang GT 5.0, 85 style. Back, you remember that? That was the most popular back in the day. If you had an 85 GT 5.0 convertible, bro, that's what I met with my wife in, you know? Like, that was the bomb. Like, I was a hot rod guy. There's a hot rod guy. Now I drive a pickup.
But I think one of the things that you guys both touch on is somebody always had an influence on how you got involved in racing, right?
Yep.
It's like, I think it's our duty to influence someone else, right?
Absolutely.
You know, and so, and however that's done, whether that's bringing a friend, whether that's bringing a neighbor, whether that's telling somebody or offering to buy someone tickets to the event, or, you know, what Tom's doing and things like that. So, I mean, all of those things coincide and they all help the health of the sport, right? You know, and it's our duty as the people that are running around at the racetrack, whether it be from driving, announcing, streaming, it's our duty to get as many people to the racetrack as we can, because that's where it all starts, you know. And you know, I mean, your buddy probably could have saved you thousands of dollars, Lance, if he didn't bring you, you know. But here we are, and we're all suckers, and you know, and we're hooked, right? It's in the blood now, and you're gonna have generational racers behind you with the Plant last name, and that'll pass it along. So I think we have to leave a legacy as what we're doing for the sport.
Yeah,
you know, one of the funny things I always like to tell people is that my wife is the racer. If y'all didn't know, Lance, you probably didn't know that, did you?
Nope.
My wife is the racer. Like, dude, when she used to race
right?
competition carts, man. Yeah. She used to race competition cars, bro. And then we did that one. And then they built, I think it was Circle L Raceway over in Mesquite off of, Whitewright? Is that what it's called? Cartwright. Around the corner. Cartwright in Lawson, right around the corner from the Devil's Bowl. And that's actually kind of where I got my announcing / scoring / situation for racing going, was there. But that's because my wife was racing, and she was like the 2-time defending champion by the time it was all done. And then she's just like, I don't want to do it anymore. So, but that's, you know, look, we got Josh Pate. He's jumping in. He says, first gen racer, now building my first car ever. It's tough by yourself. And then you got Keith Wright, who says the crowd was awesome at 67 Speedway last week. And, you know, first of all, we appreciate everybody for tuning in and commenting. You know, we're always like, hey, what you drinking and what you thinking? Because this is us right here. It's always the Coors Light on the show. Look, Lance has got his as well. Chris,
I normally have a Colorado Kool-Aid. That's what's in the refrigerator for sure. So
he's waiting on us for that. So, but Chris, man, I thank you so much for taking the time out to come on the show. We definitely appreciate you allowing us to be on your platform and helping us to promote dirt track racing, man. And I'm sure we'll have you on again before the end of the year. I mean, there's all kinds of cool, you know, big time races coming up on, you know, later in the year that we can definitely talk about. That's going to be on Race On, man. But we appreciate you very much.
Yeah, you guys keep up the great work, and whatever we can do to support you guys, we got your back. So thank you all so much.
Well, we're trying to reach everywhere. You know, I'm trying the racer kind of guy, and you know, I reached out to Ricky Thornton Jr. I hope to get him on in the near future. So that
I'm trying to get
Yeah.
Bubba the Love Sponge on. I'm trying to get Bubba the Love
Oh.
Sponge. He's a huge race fan. I'm trying to get him on the show. You
Yeah,
know, I'm like,
yeah.
we're always
Yeah,
reaching
so-
out, trying to get people on. But
we're always
man,
reaching out. Yeah.
it's but being on a platform like Race On certainly helps. Our visibility as well to be able to get those kind of guests and really expand the reach of dirt track racing. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
Bob.
man. Keep up the good work. Absolutely, man. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you at a racetrack this weekend.
You got it, brother. Appreciate you. Hey, bud. All right, y'all. That's Chris David. RaceOn.com. Check it out. You can watch races from all over the place, Louisiana and a lot of Texas. Coming up next, you guys, Martin Edwards from RPM. We're gonna talk about free race night. You guys, I got some questions. I work there and I have some questions. That's coming up next on the Dirt Talk Nation. No. Man, those promos are so good for racing. So good. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of the
Man,
race on.
my kids over here tickling me and poking me and
Oh, I saw when we was the commercial. I saw.
harassing me. I'm like, get away from me. I'm trying to do business.
So, like we talked about it earlier with Tom Lorenz, now we're going to talk about it with my man, Martin Edwards. What's up, Bubba?
Oh, not a whole lot. Getting ready to go
What's up,
see my
Martin?
mom. Actually, take some watermelon over to her. She had surgery today on her arm where she broke it. So
Oh,
we're gonna
hold
get
on.
up here in a minute and go see her.
Playing, what's that freaking game everybody's playing these days?
Pickleball.
Pickleball. She,
Yep.
yeah, pickleball. Like, did you ask
Yeah.
how the hell did this happen, Mom?
Well, we told her that the Olympic trials were already over, so she didn't need to go quite that hard for a ball at the net, but she didn't think that was too funny. So she had 8 screws and a plate put in today, and so
Holy smokes.
Man,
yeah, so we're gonna go see her for a little bit.
Man, we
Oh,
got
that's good.
Doug Rollo. Doug Rollo's jumping in. He's listening from Denton, Texas. I appreciate Doug for jumping on and watching the show. So free race. We talked to Tom earlier, and this weekend at RPM, man, it is free race weekend.
Yep.
Free.
FREE. Free.
That spells free. Remember that creditreport.com, baby. That I'll be able to never
it's
forget.
free. Yep.
So it's free race weekend, which means, hey, man, first come, first serve, man. Line up at the gate. You know how
Yeah.
cool it would be to just get there and just everybody lined up at the gate, and they're going to go open the gate and it just flood in. That's what we want to see. And it's a big time party at the racetrack if you've never been. And we touched on it earlier. I like to started adding in some entertainment aspects to the night between racing and then definitely before and after and during intermission. But this last week, the biggest hit this last week was the drink specials, man. And
Yeah.
so everybody's asking. Yeah, everybody else.
headed down to the bar.
As soon as I said, for the next 30 minutes, this is what's up. Hey, it was like freaking people in the middle of a race would get up and go to the beer stand. So the big question is, are we going to have drink specials this weekend? I've had that question literally in my inbox 4 times a day.
That I have no earthly clue about. Steve is often quite a spur of the moment type guy on stuff like that.
Not
so
Steve.
you never know.
No, not Steve.
Never know.
Not Steve.
Not Steve.
I
I
would
don't,
imagine there'd be something at some point in the night, though.
I don't believe you. I don't believe
Is he gonna release a video this week?
already did.
I don't know. I'm gonna say probably not, but that's because he's trying to get that one sweet finish to where it's usable for the weekend.
Oh, okay.
at least somewhat. So I think he's focused on getting that done. So I don't know if there will be any videos this week or not, but if there
That's
is,
gonna be a pretty
I
big
can,
suite
I
over
can
there.
bet where it's going to be broadcasted from.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big suite over there too, man. It's looking good, and then the platforms are looking good up there. And man, when they're all done, man, it's gonna look really cool with the luxury suites.
Yeah, he one of the things he talked about last year, partway through the year, wanting to get some suites up there for his family, for his kids, and then they can come because they come in the booth and whatnot, and it ends up once you get his kids in there and him in there, and it gets a little crowded sometimes. So he wants one for him and his family to enjoy, and then some others that probably sell out, and then for some sponsors and people like that. So
Yeah.
Very nice.
it's one of the small things he's doing out there for improvements.
So another question that I've gotten, and I don't know why I get all the questions. I guess it's because I work at RPM, and I'm like, dude, I just work here, bro. I don't have any of these answers, but I write them down so that I can ask them. So I may have the answer for them. Like that's what I tell them.
I try to work neck down, so I may not have an answer for you.
So actually, I've had a driver ask this question to me, and I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, hey, is there going to be a awards banquet at the end of the year, or just announced online?
That we talked about at the beginning of the year doing something, and then between all the rainouts and whatnot, and not getting the amount of shows that we originally planned, we that is something we have on the list to go back and discuss and figure out. So that is up in the air right now.
Okay.
I will say that. Just with all the rain and everything, I mean, everybody's felt it, and
Yeah,
So-
it stinks, dude. There's so much this.
Man, it's horrible.
it's been a crazy. We haven't had a year like this since I think I went back and looked, and it was like 2015. We
I know
had
2018 was really wet too. 2018 was super wet. Like I feel like it was bad that year too.
yeah.
So I have a question. So we
I
asked
have,
Tom.
I have a question.
Let me ask first. We asked Tom earlier if he's retired. So is Martin Edwards retired from racing?
All my stuff's in the shop. I did work on it a couple weeks ago for the first time this year. Matter of fact, me and a buddy were talking about it just a little while ago because he hasn't raced this year either. And me and him are kind of both in the same boat. I raced some form of weekly or a true regional schedule for 19 straight years, on top of doing my track work and everything else.
Yeah.
Aren't you only like 25? Like how the hell did you race 19 straight years?
Yeah.
And I wish. You see what working at a racetrack gets you.
Oh, look! I sit on the other side of the wall from you, man. I was like, the whole thing is like, dude, I love watching Martin in action because dude, let you go around the track 3 times without getting in your spot. He's up your ass so far. He tell you what you have for breakfast that day. Jesus.
Yeah.
But I am not retired. Me and my guys, we have enjoyed having so far the year off to do the family stuff and other things that we've wanted to do for a while. I also have got into golf along as Tom has. I'm not nearly as good as Tom, but I don't have near the time to play that Tom does. So
Speaking of family, Eston and Lawson say hi, Daddy.
I saw that. One of
So
them,
you-
I don't know which one of them, has been over here banging on the back door. Come outside.
Yeah.
But they have been rather rowdy today, and so that's
What
why
an
I'm outside,
Edwards
'cause
kid being rowdy.
probably
I don't
couldn't
believe
hear
it.
me. Probably couldn't hear me if we were inside.
Yeah.
But Lance, where's your car been? I see you going here and there, but I mean, just
He was
down
in the
road.
stands last week, by the way. He was in the stands
That
last
was
week.
2 weeks. No, it was
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 weekends ago. He was in the stands.
I've raced 7 times so far this year. Started a new job, so going on vacation
Yeah,
this weekend.
You almost start new jobs like I change underwear.
I know. Yeah.
It
So,
seems like here lately you've been new job, moving up the ladder.
but
But he's also going on his second vacation in 2 months, dude. Like he was on vacation in July. We had to do the show. He
When-
was on the freaking beach in Florida.
When
Well,
you
the
make
beach
the big,
behind
when
him.
you make big, when you make big bucks, you can do that.
I mean, I guess
How about
so.
that?
I
You know,
wouldn't know
worked at-
anything about
I
that.
worked at Crandall for 12 years, and they recruited me over at Coffin ISD, and I worked there for almost 2 years, and now I'm a little closer to home. So
Yeah. So, now I just
So-
had to yank your chain a little bit,
I know,
especially
yeah,
with
no.
both of y'all drinking Rocky Mountain elk piss. I mean, come on now.
Well, whatever.
I'm not a beer.
Hey,
I'm not a beer drinker, but I damn sure gonna drink something better than that.
if they pay the bills, I will look. I'm telling you right now, all day long, silver bullets, dude. I will be drunk from morning till night if they're paying the bills. You know what I mean? So
no, I plan on coming racing the rest of the year. I'm settled down now, so I'm
So
gonna
Come
make
on.
it next year.
So Lance, to me, the greatest version of our national anthem, okay, is the version that Chris Stapleton sang at the Super Bowl.
I don't
Agree or
disagree that
disagree?
it's a good version.
It's
I
so
know.
I
slow.
think that it takes
He goes
a
so
long
slow.
time to get through it.
All right. So can I use the one from the girl that sang at the
No.
ballpark the other night for the
No, negative.
She was
Negative.
probably based off her Facebook post. She's on the same stuff y'all are on. So I mean,
Look,
She's drunk.
Look.
She was drunk.
I will look here. I'm gonna call bullshit on that too, because I'm gonna let you know, as a former performer who played the part of Hank Williams Jr. and I played authentic shows, son. I call bullshit. I can't tell you
What?
how many shows that I played drunk and still was able to sing my music.
Well, you should sing the national anthem then.
I will all day. Look, matter of fact, I'm trying to get my daughter to come sing the national anthem because I'm telling you right now, she fucking rocks it, dude. Like she's amazing.
Mark
But,
can sing too.
But they got that. They,
No.
my wife,
No, I do not.
my wife, who's been scoring at the track, she's got to be gone this week because it's my nephew's dirty 30 birthday party, and they're doing a white trash bash or some such. So Kim Williams is saying that version is slow. It is. I'm fixing that. Hey, maybe I'll just use the Cody Johnson from the actual All-Star game.
That's
That
good.
was really good.
I'm a baseball fan through and through. I love baseball. Played it my entire childhood, and this is the first All-Star game I've missed watching, and I can't tell you how long. But everybody says he did a really good job.
They did a good
The
job.
uniforms
and
are
that it was a
horrible,
good
though.
game.
The uniforms are horrible. I miss when they used to wear their own uniforms.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
You know, when
the
they wear
hats
their
look
own.
good. I'll say that the hats.
The
look
hat
good.
looks good, but whatever the creamsicle color they were wearing,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, why do they keep tricking it up? Like they did the what do they call it, the City Connect jerseys and stuff.
Oh,
and
I
I'm like,
hated them.
they're
hated 'em.
absolute trash, bro. Like, why do
Yeah.
they keep doing it? Quit tricking up. Like the
Yeah.
Rangers in my life, okay. Since I became a baseball fan in 1984 was when I went to my very first ball game, right? And or 1983, June of 1983 is the first time I ever went to a ball game at the old Arlington Stadium. And last year, like I tell people, I waited 40 years for that World Series victory, bro. And I'm like, I was gonna live the whole thing up. But why do we have to have a freaking uniform change every other year? Like it's getting annoying. So when they brought back the 80s style Rangers, the cursive,
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
that's what's up. Yes, it looks way better.
Right.
Like I didn't like it when they went to the remember in '94 when we moved into the old ballpark, the ballpark in Arlington.
Right.
They had the it was the star. Remember the star logo,
Yep,
Martin?
yep.
With the
Yep.
with the Rangers like that, and that grew on me. And as soon as
I
that grew
might
on
have
me,
a hat in the house that
I
actually
probably
has
have one with the logo on in there. I have so many ball caps. Like I got one right here. This is what's up right here. I have one that says you look like your mom makes bomb ass tamales. So I have one that says shit show supervisor. I have one on the show. I have another one over here that says in my defense, I was left unsupervised. So it's I like the funny I like the funny hats.
That's how we
t-shirts.
got that long national anthem.
Well, I'll get a different version this weekend. I'm not maybe I'll throw the Land Rhymes version, or I'll cut the Kojo version because Kojo's awesome. But
the best ever. The best ever is Whitney.
From Super Bowl in 1994. That was a
Yeah,
long time ago, bro.
but it was good though.
It's all right. It's all right.
But yeah, the Cody Johnson would be a good one.
I'll keep it under a minute and a half. How's that? Does that work? So the other version
that's
is
fine.
2 minutes and 10 seconds. So because the other night, look, I promise you, Saturday night, as soon as that was over, Martin opens the door. Yo, man, we need a faster. That was the first thing he said. We need a faster national anthem. So this weekend, man, at the track, it's gonna be packed, and it's
Hopefully
beautiful
so.
weather. Did we
is.
get a lot of rain
It
at the
is.
track yesterday? I think that's another question we've gotten.
Well, the answer is I don't necessarily know. We don't have a rain gauge out there. But I can tell you based off the videos that I got while it was raining, because I left 40 minutes before then. If you would have went off of that, it'd have been disastrous. But everything, I went out there, Steve had tilled up the pits, which I don't necessarily know if it was needed, but it didn't hurt. Started rolling it back down. Everything's dry, ready to go.
Nice. Look, I hate it when it rains like during the race season. It sucks. I'm like, why can't you just rain on Sunday and Monday and then piss off the rest of the week where it can be nice and hot? And
Monday would be okay. Tuesday morning, good. Sunday, that's your golfing day. If you race,
I don't care about
race
golf,
off.
dude.
So we could leave Sunday, that'd be fine.
Now,
I got to get the competitive juices out somehow.
Now look, and it's going to sound like a pun. Switching gears. Are you a football fan, college or NFL?
I prefer to watch college.
Okay. NCAA football 25 is out. Are you a video game guy when you have downtime?
No. I don't have a game console one. I had an iRacing rig for a little while, and I didn't even use it enough to justify keeping it, so I sold it.
So Danny Ferguson, our flagman, he's like, "What's up, everybody?" Well, normally just Danny, because he's the one that's the highest up in the booth there. It's usually just him.
I don't play video games either, so you're not.
So, we used to play a lot of video games, me and my buddies. But shoot,
and one day you got married and had kids, and started.
It was before all that. Even we stopped. But we used to play quite a bit, and then we just kind of phased out. Started going to bars a little more often, and
So for me, when my daughter, actually the PS4 was bought for my daughter for Christmas. That's what it was for. But I've been playing Madden since 9, right? So I just love playing Madden. And then of course they haven't played NCAA football and hadn't been out in 13 years. So
I wouldn't even known that.
I didn't even play. I would hardly ever play anything until I had this effing stroke. And now it's just hard to get up and go around somewhere and just and then you see me at the track, man. It's difficult, and you can see that it gets painful sometimes getting up and down them stairs. Jesus. That's why I'm like, go downstairs, get my food, and come up, and that's where we stay the rest of the night. And we had one of the racers' dads was talking to me and like right down by the stairs. And the longer he talked, the longer the quicker my brain got to, man, if he don't stop talking, my leg is going to literally fall off.
Give out.
It's going to give out right here, and it's going to be embarrassing. It took me a minute to get up the stairs, but it is part of it, man. I'm used to it by now. It's when you see a neurologist and she's like, "Yeah, it's permanent." I'm like, "Whoa, hey, thanks for the great information." But at least
thanks for the positive spin.
She's actually really nice. So she's her positive spin is it could still come back, but probably not. But probably not. But as long as I keep getting up the stairs to get into the booth and have a good time, and we got to go ahead to have a race day live. So we're gonna have a live show in the booth at 6:00 on race days with the drivers, and we're gonna go live and talk to the drivers about racing at RPM and things like that. So we're gonna start doing that to kind of get more people to be like, hey man, we need to get our ass out to the racetrack because racing starts here in just a little bit. So so that'll be good times. And
and like you said, weather this weekend couldn't ask for better weather.
Man, it does look beautiful. And I tell you what, the last couple of weekends, as soon as the sun goes down, man, it is not bad at all. And one of the gentlemen, I've seen him at every race. At any time I've ever worked at RPM, he always sits on the side where we come up for the flags, and he always sits in the very, very back top. right?
Mhm.
And so now behind him will be that new suite, and I'm like, dude, you're never going to hit the sun. Sun will never hit you. That
Yep.
like those places during the heat of the summer, the stands at the very top in front of those, because the
Yeah.
sun is behind it.
Baking on you.
That will be packed in those spots.
That's why at the bowl we always had a really late crowd getting there because the sun set right in your face. It was hot no matter what, but as soon as that sun went down, here they came.
Man, it's all right.
Started
So
filling in quick.
I don't know if you've been watching the whole show.
I have.
Okay, so we're gonna ask you about what Tom said, because the hope, I promise you, the hope around the entire racing community is that, and I'm gonna look, and the hope around the race community is there's a full schedule at the Devil's Bowl next year. That's the hope around the race community, and that's not even a joke. But can you shed any light on anything that we have heard
Just a little.
on the potential of that happening?
I can tell you most of what Tom said was accurate. We've actually been under 2 different contracts within the time frame. The first one backed out because their financer couldn't get everything situated in time because they were in the middle of another project, which is in the same area. The second people ended up, it's a long story, but they ended up, we backed out on them because they hadn't done their part of it, but we were back under contract with the first one, and everything should be done by the beginning to middle of November.
And if not,
then we will figure out our next move. Dad has talked about a schedule. He has talked about not a schedule. It's a lot of mixed emotions. And
I know it is for you.
everything. And so there, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
And this is what I tell people all the time when those subjects come up. And I tell people all the time, it's like, let me tell you something. Giving up music was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I said, but Martin reached out to me literally the night before my very last show, because I had promoted, this is my last show. I have to quit because the physical, I physically can't do it. Right. And having to give it up sucks. And Martin reached out to me. He's like, hey, man, look, enjoy it. It's the last one, and all that. But think about this. We'd like for you to come back and announce at RPM next week. Right. Dude, I told Martin, like, literally that night, you don't have to wait. I don't have to wait till next week. I'll let you know I'm down. I'm 100% down. And we talked out the next week, and I'm happy to be back, dude. It's my wife will tell you, it doesn't matter about my physical limitations, dude. I got to be doing something. I can't just be, like my full-time job now is I'm an NFL sports writer 7 days a week. I get up at 5 a.m, write all my articles, get everything out. And then on Saturdays, I freaking get up at 5 a.m, do all my articles, take 1 hour nap, get my ass to the racetrack. We do some great stuff at the racetrack. And I get home, and guess what? 5 a.m. on Sunday, back to doing my other thing. Cause it's just how I'm wired, man. I could never not
Do something.
work, and thankfully I'm blessed enough in my post-stroke life that I can actually do stuff that I love to do, and I love announcing racing and having a good time at the racetrack, and I appreciate the opportunity to do so, and being able to go out there and do entertaining things and have fun, man. That's what racing's supposed to be.
I know a lot of people would love to see Devil's Bowl come back too, and it'd be huge if it did, but I understand it if it doesn't.
So the biggest part of why it was a little too late, for one, to get a schedule out when everything fell apart this year. But why we didn't do any specials or anything also is once we've got all the EPA stuff done, that's cost quite a bit of money to get it all done and get everything right where it needs to be. And the chance of that messing up with races goes up drastically.
Yeah.
And so it was a smarter move to just sit out, see what happens, and
Understand.
come the end of the year when that bridge comes to cross. If we have to cross it, then we cross it then.
Right.
But
So-
trying to do something in the middle of the year just wasn't a smart move.
Before I
Right,
let you
understand.
go, if there's anybody out there who's watching right now who has never been to RPM Speedway, what would you tell them about this weekend?
It's free. It costs you nothing to come in the gate. Nothing.
Free.
I mean, we want you to go down, buy a hamburger, hot dog, walking taco, cold beer, margarita, all that. But in the long run, if everything is financially that tight for you, you can watch some badass racing without spending $1.
Is the track going to be hammered down?
It sure will. And it's got some good racing too, man. I'll tell you.
I don't know.
Look.
Last week was fairly tacky, but it was wide. Like it
Yeah.
got all the way up to the wall,
It was
still,
good.
but it was tacky all the way across. Smooth. The week before, all the way to the wall, but slick.
Yeah.
I like it consistently smooth.
Yeah.
As far as personally, the way I want the racers to have to work.
Yeah.
And racers actually have to race, and I don't want it to be a routine.
Right.
The race night, I want to go in a routine order and be a routine. But as far as what the racers have to do inside the car and to the car every night, I don't want it to be the same routine.
No.
Right.
Yep.
And so make those guys work. Let the cream come to the top because of it, and see what happens.
Yep.
Well,
So-
man,
I agree.
Who knows what it's going to be?
I hope it's going to be fun, and we got some stuff up our sleeve. And for those of you who are old school, we're going to do the Cotton Eye Joe in the middle of intermission. So make sure that you're ready to get down and down to boogie and have a good time with us. And Martin,
Knees
thank you
up
so much.
high.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on, Bubba. We appreciate you, and of
Yeah,
course, I'll
Martin.
see you tonight.
Not a problem, guys. See y'all.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
See ya later. There goes y'all. Martin Edwards, promoter out at RPM Speedway. Again, it is free race
Free.
night, Saturday night, and you get to hear me. You get to hear me all night. Have a good time, and we're gonna do the Cotton Eye Joe. We're gonna do Sweet Caroline, and everybody can join in and everything. And it's a lot of fun. And we're actually gonna talk to one of my fellow announcers up next. Chase Lawler from Hunt County Raceway, and then some is gonna join the show next, right here on the Dirt Talk Nation. Hey, back here in the Dirt Talk Nation. I am Will Riggs, and that guy over there, that's Lance Plant, and he drives the 29X modified.
Baby Oil Express.
The Baby Oil Express when he comes to race, anyway.
August 3rd. I'm going to be at
August
RPM.
3rd, you're going to be back? Cool. That means we can do a live. You're going to be a part of the live show at 6
I don't know if
p.m.
I'm invited.
Well, duh. But before we got Chase Lawler, he's coming up, and actually he announces at Hunt County Raceway and at Rocket Raceway as well. But first, we got to sling some merch here. You guys go check out our store right here. Look at it, check it out. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to open one of these up so you can see all the different colors that you can get in your t-shirts. Look, check it out. Boom. We're going to just go like this. But hold on, I think it's this one right here. Bazinga. That's really bright yellow. I mean, I wouldn't, if you're working on cars, don't get that one. Don't do that. Where the hell did Lance go? Oh, he had to go get a cold beer. Is that what you did?
Try to get some.
Oh, turn the light back on. Yeah, it was kind of dark. But if you're working on cars, don't get a yellow shirt. Don't do that. Probably don't get the blue shirt either, but it's more dressy than that yellow. Gray t-shirt. I mean, that's kind of a garage shirt, but you're going to get grease everywhere over that. But definitely don't get the white. Definitely don't do that if you're getting that's your dressing up going out. That's your dressing up going out shirt, Lance. But if you're working on cars, boom, that's the one for you right there on black.
That's it.
And then we're gonna have. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull this up real quick so that everybody can see it.
Come on, I want to see it. I want to see it.
Hold on, I'm trying it. It's gonna take a minute. I had to reboot my computer right before the show, so it's not pulled up anymore. But I did. So I talked to my guys over at Black Acid Racing Apparel, who runs our online store. And the cool thing is they're going to have shirts available tomorrow that you can buy. Hold on, I'm going to shut this over here so I can show you guys. This is so freaking awesome. Hold on, where did it go? Where'd it go? Freaking hold on. There it is right there. Hold on, I got to share this screen. I'm going to stop this screen. We're going to get Chase on in just a minute. Hang tight, Chase. Hang tight. We got to show you this. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Hold on, we're going to stop this screen right here. No, remove, damn it. Stop it. There we go. Now let's do this. Present, share screen. And I'm going to choose it's not going to let me do my Photoshop. Damn it. Hold on. Yeah, it will. Boom. Hold on. Skadoosh. Right there, man. Riggs Plant 24 Make America Race Again shirts will be available starting tomorrow. It's already up on our screen, man. Turn your camera back around, Lance. Those are going to be so cool. As soon as they come out, I'm going to order some. I want to order some. This is going to be freaking awesome. But yeah, the Riggs Plant 24 Make America Race Again shirts will be out and available over at Black Acid Raceway. We shared the link on our Facebook page earlier. So make sure you go check those out. But without further ado, a fellow race announcer, my dude, Chase Lawler. I met Chase for the first time just a couple of weeks ago. Chase, what's up, dude?
What's going on, man? Y'all having a good show?
Man, it's been a great show. We had Tom Lorenz from Smiley's Racing. We had Chris David from Race On. We had Martin Edwards from RPM Speedway. Now we got you, and we're drinking cold beer.
Yeah, I don't know who told y'all that I should be batting cleanup to a lineup like that, but it's nice to be on here, buddy.
But man, it's cool, man. It's a good time. We love having this show, and by the time we got to you at fourth, me and Lance are like 2 or 3 deep here on the Silver Bullet. So it's all good.
The buzz is running strong, huh?
Oh yeah. Sure. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh.
We need a beer counter.
Yo, I'm gonna add that next week. I'm gonna add it next week. So
there you go.
So you race you announce at both Rocket and Hunt County, yeah?
Yeah, man, they wouldn't let me get behind a car. Trust me, my career racing lasted. I was about 8 years old in a go-kart, and I went into turn 1, man, and no one told me you got to let off the gas when you hit the brake for the brake to work. And I drove under a chain link fence, and that was the end of my racing career. Okay, no, but yeah, this is my second season at Rocket, man, and it's been great. Kevin Sestera, Kevin Rogers are good people. Now it's just Sestera over there, but I've done some stuff for KR too, and then I filled in at Hunt County a couple times last season, and things went over there. They made some changes at the end of the year, and I was just lucky enough to kind of fall into that gig at Hunt County too. Hunt and Rocket work very well together on their schedules and different things, being a Friday and Saturday night track. So Donnie and Josh allowed me to come over there and take over, and it's just been rocking and rolling, man. It's been a cool deal. I feel like it's only my second season announcing, and it kind of is, but I started back in 2017 and 18 at Timberline and Texarkana Speedway over here in Texarkana where I live. And, I announced for a couple seasons.
You drive from Texarkana to Cattle.
I know.
Holy shit.
I know, right? Yeah. Every Friday and Saturday, brother. 2 hours to Greenville, and it's about an hour and 40 minutes to Rocket.
Well, if you ever get tired of that, Greenville gig, man, let me know, because that's like literally 15 minutes.
You're a lot closer, huh?
Yeah, right down the street, man. So, it is right down the street, and I think that what I talk about, and you can ask Josh and them about this. So, I thought about coming over there because it's super close to me, and my wife is my driver. Just so you know, I can't drive at night. My peripheral vision is screwed up from when I had my stroke. So that's why she works at the racetrack at RPM, because she's going to be there anyway. She might as well have a job because it's difficult. But I'm like, it'd be cool to come over to Hunt County and do like one of our Dirt Talk Nation Race Day live shows live.
Hell yeah.
Live from Hunt County. I think it'd be a cool deal. And which number is that for you? Is that number 3? That's number 3. Yeah, me too. I'm almost done with my.
We need a beer counter.
Right. So I got the tall boys, man. So I got the tall boys, instead of the short ones. I mean,
y'all need the beer counter, but you need the bell like Rodney's got. You can hit the bell every time you open up a new one and put it up on the counter.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one. I and it's funny because like you can't see it right here, but look, I'm gonna go solo for just a second so I can point out something. Do y'all see this?
Oh Lord.
Cool.
I framed it, dude. I framed it. You didn't look. I'm gonna holler right here, my guys, right here from Lone Star Accessories, man. When I got in an accident, some asshole like literally just drove into the front of my truck, and I have a 2012 Silverado, and it's like in pristine condition, but they ruined the front 2 wheels, and they were like, well, these wheels are discontinued. So I called up Jeff and them over at Lone Star Accessories, and they were like, dude, we got you. So I went over there and they hooked me up. I got black wheels and tires and a brand new set of wheels and tires off a newer Chevrolet on my truck. And those guys are cool enough to take care of me, man. But who are some of the guys like? See, when you got, so I got into dirt truck racing announcing in 2017 by pure happenstance, and it just happened to be at like literally the biggest track around at Devil Goal Speedway, right? So like I just fell into it. It just happened. How did you actually fall in and get into dirt truck racing?
So a little bit of a similar path on the announcing side, but as far as racing, man, I grew up over here at State Line Speedway back when it was around, and 67 was called Meadowlands when it first opened up. This is in the 90s. And this picture, it's got a glare on it, but speaking of State Line, so this is Skeet Amison, which still drives now. He'll be at the Cowboy Up Classic. I even got Skeet to sign this. My dad took this photo back in the late 80s. So I grew up at the tracks, man, and I ran around with the Red Lick crew, which is where I'm from, right outside of Texarkana. It was like Alan Roy, Lanny Norton, Kyle Markham, Kevin McGonigal, a bunch of local guys, nothing too big. And of course, right here at the home of Gary Wright, right? So this is where Gary Wright cut his teeth before he went national racing. So I grew up at the tracks, man. And then, long story short, I was just a diehard fan. And in 17, actually, about the same time as you, man, I was doing some contract work with the radio station where I was cutting promos and commercials, and I was doing high school football games on the radio.
Always
and
fun.
It kind of, it was great, man. More fun than I ever thought I could have. And it kind of transitioned to doing a online, what I called a radio cast on something called MixLR that we were doing at Timberline Speedway. So we were doing like a play-by-play on that was separate from the announcing at the track. And it really, it took off a little bit on the first couple deals. The sponsorship stuff was good, but it didn't really, it was before its time for sure. And me and the guy doing it didn't have the knowledge to maybe do it as best as we could. So long story short, Billy White allowed me to do some announcing over there at Timberline. And then Chris Green and Dennis Gardner brought me in at 67 Speedway. I got to announce some for Ricky Burke at Boot Hill, for the Dillard family down in Sabine, man. But long story short, I wasn't living right, man. I had a lot of things going on at the time. I had some addiction problems and things that were taking my focus away from where it needed to be. And I was a real threat to myself and what I was doing. So I kind of burned some gigs out, man. And in 2020, I finally got my shit together and sat down and went to rehab and been clean since November of 2020, man. And I didn't think I would get back into this, honestly, man. I kind of stayed away from it for a while. And then Kevin Sestair called me and said, hey, man, we're making some changes at Rocket, and we'd like to see if you'd want to maybe get back involved. And that was last season, at the start of the season. So it just kind of reignited the fire that I have for the sport and for this. And then I've been lucky to come on board with Race On in a small part as well and do stuff for them. I got a Race On camera, the Osmo, and kind of doing some stuff for them. So it's been nice, man. It's I feel like it's my real job, and my Monday through Friday job is just to get through the week,
Look, for those of you who don't know, those of you who don't know, these things are freaking, the Osmo is one of the coolest things ever invented, because you don't have to have a professional camera, because if you have a newer phone, guess what? You have a professional camera already. Just so that you guys know. Like I got an iPhone 15. just so I can do stuff. Like it's got the cinematic camera and all this cool shit. But
Yeah.
I'm a radio guy. That's my background. Like the reason I got into the way I got into announcing was my wife and I went to the Spring Nationals, ASCS Spring Nationals at the Devil's Bowl, and I was listening to the announcers like, man, this would be really good. I own a streaming radio station, right? I'm like, man, this would sound really cool on our radio station. So I wrote down, I have my business card with me, and I left it there and said, hey, this would be, I own a radio station. I have awards on the wall over here that you can't see because they're over there, not right behind me. Because I've been radio personality of the year multiple times, you know. So I was like, hey, this would be really cool on our radio station. Had the owner reach out to me because I'd love to find a way to get it, have an audio version of the races on our radio station. And lo and behold, one of the announcer that actually worked at the track at the time, which I don't want to say anybody's name because it's not my place to put it out there, but let's just say that his cheese slid off his cracker, and he quit. And the owner was like, hey, man, look, have you ever announced racing? I said, no, I've done football and baseball and girls softball, but I've never done racing before. And he goes, well, it's not that hard. Do you want to do it? And so that's literally how I fell into it. And then I started doing, my first gig ever was at the Devil's Bowl Speedway. And I'm like, this is where I grew up going to. I'm like, is this real life, you know? And so.
And that's how we met.
And that's how I met Lance, as I was working there and at RPM, and I could always smell where Lance's car was because instead of Dirt Defender, he used baby oil. And and you could smell it. I always called it the Baby Oil Express. I've called it that since 2017. And and I took time off after the 2018 season. I'm a musician, so I traveled, all over the South and then some, like 13 different states playing music. And last year, I had a stroke, and Martin Edwards reached out to me literally the night before my last show back in February. And I had now said I can't do it anymore. My body just physically won't hold up to it. So this will be my last show. And he was like, hey, man, enjoy this, but we'd love for you to come back to RPM. Let me know next week. And I was like, you don't got to wait, bro. I will tell you right now. Let's fucking go. I'm in. I'm in. And, and immediately my wheels started turning. I have to bring back the Dirt Talk Nation, which is a show I originated in 2017. I had to bring it back, and we want to reach out further than just the tracks I work at. So I literally, aside from tonight, I mean, we've talked about RPM a lot simply because this weekend is free race weekend. That's awesome. Chase, tell the people how awesome it is to be able to go to a track right in their backyard for free. What can they expect if they've never been to a racetrack?
Man, a lot of excitement and a lot of adrenaline, something that I experienced personally going to any track, man. And it is a cool deal, man, for y'all to do that and Smiley's to come on board with that for this weekend. And I hope it's full, man. I hope it's standing room only by the time y'all get rocking and rolling.
Oh, so me too.
But
me too.
Yeah,
I love it.
So and just, especially if you're new to the track, man, that's something which I'm sure you do at the start of it, man, let them know what's going on about hot laps and heats and how we do this in qualifier races, and just fill them in as much as you can so they learn. And, hopefully some of them might take the time to download my Race Pass app and follow along on there, man. That's a cool tool that, for not just for us announcers, but for fans as well.
That's what I use in the booth, man. I tell you what, the lineup, the stack lineup in my Race Pass is so convenient. Because, I don't know how they do it where you work at, but they'll like, oh, here's the printouts of the thing. And like you, I also wear glasses, and trying to look down at print that's this big and read it off is way harder than just being able to tap on the screen and see it.
I don't know how I did it before my Race Pass. Like, it's so easy to look at my Race Pass and see the gap between first and second, see what the lineup is, and maybe you can see the feature of, hey, this guy's running 12 and he's the fastest car on the lap on the track. Let's see where he's going,
and for $6 a month, man. And for $6 a month, dude, come on. My Race Pass for $6 a month. Are you kidding me? It's that if you pay your My Race Pass and go to the racetrack, and then I can't go to the racetrack, and then you sign up with Race On, man, come on, dude. Like, you get dirt track racing all the time. So upstairs, I'm an RC guy, right? Like I like to build RC cars, and I have built, I work on drones and all this stuff. And guess what's on my wall? I have a freaking 42-inch TV on the wall, and Race On is almost always exclusively on that TV because I always got some sort of racing going, man. Because I just love racing. I grew up going to the Devil's Bowl, and so being able to, that to be my first race announced gig ever. I mean, you talk about intimidating, dude. You talk about intimidating, like, hey, we want you to announce your first race ever as a race announcer at the world famous Devil's Bowl, dude. I almost shit my pants. I'm not even gonna lie.
So, Will, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you know a guy named Zach Clark?
Zach Clark. I don't.
You should. Yeah.
He's
so
one of the best announcers. Chase can attest this. He's probably wealth of knowledge. He can tell you the last lap pass from 1996 or something. Like he's got this memory in his head that's wicked. Like he can tell you play by play from a race 6 months ago.
We're gonna go find Zach.
He announced with Chase not too long ago, and they put on a heck of a show.
Yeah, I call him Zach the Dirt Track Almanac, man. He is he's spot on. His memory, man, is something else. His Zachisms, as we like to call them, are something else. He's by far, to me, I mean, here's the thing. Zach's a good friend of mine. We talk almost every single day, if not every single day. He lives right down the road from me now here in Texarkana. Like you said, he was at Hunt County for July 3rd with me over there. He's announced Rocket with me a couple times this season. He's going to be with me this weekend, actually, over at Rocket for the Cowboy Up Classic. So, you were talking about like RPM deal. So, if you're a 305 fan or a modified fan, get to Hunt County and get to RPM this weekend. If you're looking for the big show for like the 5,000 to win limited modified Cowboy Up Classic, I know y'all talked some earlier about that with Chris David, man. I'm pumped. This is something different that you don't see a lot, man. And that's what it just. Dirt track racing all around is going to have a great weekend. But like for myself and Zach being over at Rocket, and talking about the driving, man, we got a cabin over there. We got to hook up at Hidden Grove RV right there in Honey Grove. The track does with the cabin. So no driving this weekend. I'll be over there tomorrow till Sunday. So, but Friday we run limited modifieds, factory stock and stock cars. The limited mods run. I was mistaken last week. I was talking about double heats, kind of like you see at Boot Hill and Arclitex when they have these 2-day shows. But it's just one set of heat races going on passing points, and then we go into qualifier features, and then we're going to take the top. We're going to just advance the top 6, and then when we get to Saturday, the top 6 do a bull ride, on a mechanical bull to set the lineup for the 5,000 to win race. Yeah, and then the rest.
Right. That's still going to be live. Yeah, you're going to film all this.
Yeah, it's going to be live. It's going to be live. It's going to be on Race On. We'll have the.
But I'm going to be working, so I'm going to need to have to go back on Sunday to watch this.
Exactly. You could just watch the replay on Race On, right? So, but the top 6 will do a bull ride to set the lineup for the top 6 of the 5,000 to win 500 start main event, and then the rest of the field it'll be a heat race again where they line up kind of off their finishing positions from the night before, and then depending on how many we have, we'll advance so many from those heats, and then we'll have a last chance qualifier to set the rest of the field, and we're adding the eco mods and junior limiteds on top of the factory stocks and the stock cars. So I love when you have a different type of show, and whether it's added class like the American Crate Late Model Series, whether it's 305 sprint cars, whatever, man. But the 5,000 to win, having this bull ride, I got to be a part of it last year too, and it was real neat. And we did the top 10 last year. It's only the top 6 this year, but it's just something different and cool. And you got Cody Smith as a 2-time winner of the event, but I know last year he started deep in the field, man. He didn't even ride the bull, and he came up and won it. Caden Honeycutt's the other winner. We know he won't be there. He's out doing NASCAR shit now, big time in it. But it's going to be a good weekend, man. It's going to be awesome. Dean Abbey, I think, is going to be there. Jeffrey Abbey, Boone Evans, Skeet Amison, who we were talking about earlier, is going to be there. I expect a strong carb, limited and B mods, and we'll give the people somebody to talk about. It'll be the B mod and limited debate all over again, which I want nothing to do with, but it's going to happen.
I'm not taking any sides because I'm going to tell you right now.
I'm not either.
I'm not smart enough to tell you the difference between the limiteds and the B mods, but I know that the guys who race limiteds and the guys who race B mods are at odds. And so that's the kind of, but look, I'm here for drama. I'm not going to lie. I'm here for it because I think the drama draws people in to watch. You know what I mean? Like they're like, what's going to happen? Like, dude, I cannot wait. To get Bryce Pritchett No, I can't wait to get Bryce Pritchett on the show this Saturday. We're doing live shows now at the racetrack. We're calling it Dirt Talk Nation Race Day Live, and I got Bryce Pritchett on out of the gate, and I can't wait to ask him about some drama that happened at the track last week, because it's the last thing I remember about what went down the modifieds last week. And I'm telling you right now, I thought there was going to be a ruckus, and I know that Race On is they've taken some heat for showing, the videotaping where, like the fight thing. I tell you what, that fight video has been bazillion to watch, like it's freaking 100% viral. Right. So everybody has their opinion. And I'm like, right now, if I'm just trying to get out of my car and you sucker punch me like that, dude, I don't know that I would be nice enough to not just take my helmet off and bash your fucking face in. That's just me. But I can't, the drama. I'm here for the drama, man. The drama. Look, racing. Here's the two crowds that are exactly the same. You ready? Dirt track racing and professional wrestling. Those are the same crowds, bro. The same people. Drama draws all day,
every day,
for sure.
And the B mods and the limit mods are in, they're at ends with each other, and who's better, and B mods are faster, and the limiteds are faster, and whatever. But who won last weekend at Rocket? A limited.
Matthew Risky, a limited. Yeah, and he beat the likes of like Dean Abbey, bro, just has been kicking ass. Dean just won the West Grisby Memorial, and I think unless he hasn't raced as much this season, but he's got like 4 years in a row of 10+ wins, man. And he kicks ass in everything he drives, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes with the B mods again on Saturday or Friday and Saturday. But Risky won it, man, and then you've had like Boone Evans has been winning there. You've got B mod. It's a mix up. Skeet Amundsen has won in his limited at Rocket. He's brought the B mod and not done as good. And I talked to him this past Saturday, man, at Rocket, and he's got both. He's got a limited and a B mod. And he didn't know which one he's going to bring yet. He said he may bring both and put John Mitchell in one of them. So, but he just, it's you got when Dean won at Boot Hill, he said this B mod thing is they're killing these limits. And then last week you got over at Rocket, Matt Risky wins, and they're talking about B mod what? So
B mod what? Like, and he started. Yeah. It's not like he started on the pole and drove away. No, he started fourth and drove around the B mods.
He did, man. He's been doing great over there. He risky business, as we like to call him. He's leading the points at Rocket, has been for several weeks. I think he's second in the points over at Hunt County as well. So, man, he's been badass in that car, and he's a good dude. And it's good to see him out there doing well with the Loftus ride there.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this question: is that a vintage like Oakland A's hat? What do you got on your head right there, bro? What are you wearing?
No, buddy.
What is that?
Suey Pig, brother. Suey Pig.
That's Arkansas.
That's Arkansas. Yeah, it's just a different kind. Yeah. So look, I grew up on the Texas side of Texarkana. Okay, but I grew up in a Razorback family, and it's been damning because I'm a Cowboy fan and I'm an Arkansas fan, and Jerry Jones has effed both teams to the point of where it's cardiac Cowboys and heart attack Hogs, brother.
Hey, how's Stephen Jones doing, by the way? So like when I was calling high school football, I was on high school football for North Forney High School, who was in the same division with Highland Park. So I had to watch Stephen Jones win back-to-back state championships. And, of course, he wasn't going to go anywhere except Arkansas, where his daddy and his granddaddy went to school. So how's that going? How's that playing out up there at Arkansas?
Man, I don't know what to expect this year, man. The news all around it, is Pittman's back as head coach and bringing in Bobby Petrino. We all know how the Bobby Petrino. He's our offensive coordinator yet again. After doing his stint everywhere else, after left Arkansas, I'm sure y'all know the story. He brought Arkansas back to the
Atlanta Falcons, where he just left in the middle of the night one night and quit.
Well, that was from Louisville. So that was when he was at Louisville. Yeah, the Arkansas drama was bringing us back to the promised land and being the most dominant team we've had in maybe ever. And then he had the motorcycle wreck. With the staff employee from Arkansas on the back, and then long story short, it finds out it was the husband of old girl that drove him off the road and beat his ass. So you got to look it up. It's a crazy story, but long story short, he lied to the university about it. And when it all came out, there was no saving grace, and they fired him. And he went back to Louisville. What was even crazy after that, he went back to Louisville after the shit that he did for Atlanta.
That's insane.
So you talking about this guy's had more second chances than anybody I know. So, but he's been all over the place.
One of the things like that I saw as an NFL sports writer, don't mean to shoot my own horse, what I do as my regular day job. So I've written at least this offseason, at least 12 stories about former Arkansas Razorback Treylon Burks. Right?
Yeah.
I think he's getting a raw deal in Tennessee. I mean, he's never going to see the field, dude. They got freaking who they got up there? Freaking Tyler Boyd and Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins, dude. He's never going to see the field, right?
Yeah, and he can't stay healthy.
Has he been disappointing? Yeah, I mean, for a first round pick, but they've changed quarterback. The quarterback carousel has gone around and around up there, and they've changed head coaches on him twice. So I'm like, look, I also write for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I wrote this in the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm like, look, Treylon Burks is a talented wide receiver. You could get him for like a 6th or 7th round draft pick to pair with George Pickens, and they came out of the same draft. Treylon Burks was taken before George Pickens. You throw Treylon Burks up there, he's a big 6'4", freaking got long arms. You've got a long wide arm span, great speed down the field. And with Russell Wilson in that deep ball, man, Treylon Burks could have a comeback. I've been writing this all off season. I actually I wrote it for the Cowboys too, to bring Treylon Burks in, because are you really going to trust Jalen Tolbert to be the number 3 wide receiver? Are you?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
And of course I write for the Dallas Cowboys too. So, and I'm a lifelong Packers fan. So I can tell you right now, those are the most brutal stories I have to read, write every day, because. But don't think that I will not sneak in at every time I can about that ass whooping that the Packers put on the Cowboys in the playoffs last year. I will stick that in every opportunity that I get. Every opportunity. Yeah. My boss is like, he's like, dude, every chance, right? I was like, dude, yes, because everybody's like, why do Cowboys fans hate Aaron Rodgers? Answer the question, Chase. Why do y'all hate Aaron Rodgers? Because every time you've ever played in the playoffs, what happens? Aaron Rodgers is like, call me daddy. Yeah. Every time.
Dez still caught it. I don't care. Dez caught it.
He caught it.
But dude, look, there was still 5 minutes left in the game. There was still 5 minutes left in the game. It's not like that was the end of the game. That's where
you're right.
The whole thing gets misconstrued.
That's just where everyone's memory goes when you think about the game.
Well, you know what else you need to remember is the fact that Orlando Scandrick got hit in the chest with what would have been a pick 6 to put them ahead after that he dropped.
Well, that's why he's on defense and not a wide receiver, right?
Exactly. But even still, that touchdown would have gave them a 3-point lead over the Packers and gave Aaron Rodgers the ball back with 4 minutes left in the game. We all saw what happened in 2016 when you gave him 95 seconds. Or actually, 1 minute and 5 seconds. I'm sorry. 1 minute and 5 seconds. And what happened? Loss. And even his Super Bowl came at AT&T Stadium, bro. He's won more playoff games at AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys.
Talk Nation.
Hey, one quick fun fact I'll give you though, man. Treylon Burks is actually from right over here, about 10 minutes from where I live, bro. He went to high school at Ashdown, Arkansas, which is like 10 minutes north of Texarkana. So shout out Treylon. I hope he can stay healthy for one and maybe get something going somewhere, bud, because he's a hell of an athlete.
Yeah, I think that before the season starts, I think he will not be wearing the Tennessee Titan uniform. I think that he's too talented to be the number 4 receiver, and of course they've already like Wally Beatty. Des caught it. It doesn't matter if he caught it, dude. Yeah, and here's the funny thing: do you realize that the Des caught it game was 10 years ago? It's been a decade, bro, and y'all are still crying. Jesus, get a tissue.
Hey, you brought it up, bro.
Yeah,
I'll bring it up every chance I can. But man, Chase, we appreciate you so much for coming on, dude. And maybe one day we'll get to work together on a big show, whether it be at Hunt County or RPM or something in the near future. And we'll get together. And I mean, I'll tell you right now, me and you could just go riff for hours and do racing, dude. It'd be a good time, and we appreciate it. And we definitely
that's what it's all. That's what it's all about. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, you broke my podcast bubble here tonight. So,
this
you know, this is it. First one, man. First one, pop the cherry. So, you know, I've talked to Chris David a couple times about maybe getting on with something with them, and it just hasn't came together yet, I think is what I'll say about that. But I'm glad I could do it on here on Dirt Talk Nation, man. It was fun.
Now you're going to be on about 30 podcasts in the next 2 weeks, probably. Now,
Yeah.
well, he's on the Dirt Talk Nation, bro. We got to have him on our show.
Yeah, hey, I'm all for it. Whatever can help the sport, man. That's what it's all about. You know, the announcing part's fun. This is cool. What we get to do, we get to be the mouth, the mouth of the venue, the mouth of the South, whatever you want to call it. But you know, it's all about the racing, and that's what I'll end with, man. It doesn't matter if you're near RPM, get your ass to RPM. Waco's running, 105, Cotton Bowl, Grayson, Sabine, Arklatex, man. There's a lot of tracks running. Hunt County, Rocket. We've all got shows going on, man. You have no excuse to not get your, as James Brown likes to say, get your backside trackside. All right.
Yeah.
I like that. Get your backside, trackside. Everybody, Chase Lawler. He'll be at Rocket Raceway all weekend long. Does that mean that does that mean Colin is going to be at Hunt County?
So Colin Bell is going to fill in for at Hunt County, man, and I appreciate him doing that. You know, it's always nice to have someone you know that's going to show up, do a good job, be there. That's the biggest challenge sometimes for announcers is being there. So he'll show up, and man, I know we got to meet at RPM a couple weeks ago, finally, like you said, man. And hey, that track was stellar, bro. I went from Hunt County's Monster Truck Show, working it for my first Monster Truck Show, to hauling ass to Crandall instead of coming back to Texarkana, and caught the last 3 features, man. And that's a fun track. First time I'd ever been to RPM, and that was awesome. So, and I didn't know how close you lived, and never thought about it when Donnie and Josh, we kind of, when we put this together, they knew Rocket took precedence because that's where I'm at, that's where I started at, and there wasn't a lot of shows that were going to conflict anyway. And then I think we're going to have 2 with this one being the first one. So, but definitely throw your name in the hat, man. I'm always up for co-announcing. I have fun. I feel like I play well with other announcers as far as the back and forth. I feel like that's my strong suit, even more so than being solo. So
same here, man. We appreciate you for jumping on, man. I always love when we have lots of good guests, Lance, because we were like, when we started the show, it was 60 minutes. And we're like, we're going to stretch it to 90, dude. We're about to push 2 hours in the show here in just a minute. So, and we've had lots of viewers there all day long, and man, we appreciate it. And we definitely appreciate you jumping on with us, Chase, brother. I'll talk to you very soon, and we'll get together, do some stuff, and see if me and Lance can't get over to Hunt County to do a live show there.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good rest of your night.
Right. You too, Chase. Appreciate you. Well, there it goes, man. Man, Lance, what a show, bro. What a show.
2 hours. Yeah.
2 hours of Dirt Talk Nation and Dirt Track Talk. What do you say? Get your backside, trackside this week, and you can do an RPM for free. Free. Wally,
we can leave out all the Green Bay Cowboy stuff.
Well, you can't leave it out now. It's already live. It was a live show. It's not like we recorded this. Everybody knows.
Next year.
Oh, next year? We'll see. Probably not. I mean, training camp opens next week. So, matter of fact, it opens next Thursday. So I'm sure we'll get some good stuff going on. We'll have our guests lined up, and we'll announce those by the weekend. And we'll have Wally. Wally's watching right now. Wally Beatty. We still want Wally to come on to talk about Australia.
Wally.
And we appreciate Wally for tuning in. Danny Ferguson, the flagman out at RPM. He's been on the show. Doug Rollo, Keith Wright, Jesse Hooten. We appreciate you for everything. Kim Williams, Amanda Edwards, Jared Whitney. He's he says he's in the same boat racing pro mod and stuff this weekend. So I appreciate everybody who was able to, Joshua Pate, and Colin Bell, everybody for tuning in and watching, and we appreciate you so much for all the interactive on the show. Remember, starting tomorrow, you can get this shirt right here, the Riggs Plant 24, Make America Race Again. That's our new motto. Make America Race Again. You can get that shirt tomorrow on our online store, which you can find the link right there on our Facebook page, man. So let's jump that out of there, and we'll just go right here. And Lance, brother, I appreciate you. I know you're leaving tomorrow morning, taking the RV down to the New Bronxville's there to float the river.
Float the river. Yep. And be gone
So,
all weekend. Yep.
So there's a restaurant in New Braunfels. I want to say it's called the New Braunfels Steakhouse. I want to say that's what it's called. It's right there as you get off the highway, off of 35 in New Braunfels. And I'll tell you this quick funny story. So we were there one time right after I graduated high school. So this had to be 1992. Okay, so it's back in the day. And we were sitting around and we were waiting on our breakfast, and the chairs were like high back like this. But then they were the wooden chairs, the ones that always had the extra, the extra little extensions on the side part, right? So you can move them around. So we're sitting there, and the lady comes with our breakfast, and man, she starts putting them down, and I'm freaking chowing down, right? So she goes, my dad gets biscuits and gravy everywhere we go, right? And so she got this big plate of biscuits and gravy. And as she's putting it on the table, she catches one of those little pegs that sticks out of the top of the chair and right in his lap, bro. Right in his lap. And to his credit, though, Dad was like, well, shit. Like he didn't get mad about it or anything. Like today, people would have their cell phone out, filming everything that happened after that. You know what I mean? Yeah. My dad was like super cool about it. And, we're
looking to have a good time. I mean,
he was like, we're
taking my daughter Kendall and her friend Kinley and my wife, and we're going camping, and it's gonna be fun.
So it's you and how many girls?
3.
Oh no, that's what it is in my house too. I'm outnumbered 3-1 in my house. The only other boys in this house are my dogs. That's it. That's all I got, man.
I don't have any dogs.
Uh-oh. So, get some of those. I want to get some of those, kind of even out the testosterone in the house, bro. But everybody, we'll be back. Yeah, it's a 2-hour show, man. We went a little extra long there, but we appreciate everybody, and we want you guys to get out there to the racetrack, and like Chase said, get your backside, track side, keep the greasy side down, and we'll see you next week. All right. All right, Lance, appreciate you, brother. I'll talk to you in a little bit. You guys, until we're back next week, this has been the Dirt Talk Nation. Thank you so much for watching.
She was there for